Welcome back to the Garden Hutch. Today we're going to discuss our plan for growing cucumbers here on the homestead. Well, cucumbers are a very popular choice here on the homestead, and from what I can tell, most of the United States, if not the world, also enjoy growing cucumbers. So gardeners all over the place will tell you that they serve a wide variety of functions in a diet. As far as our food security plan goes, last year we started getting cucumbers in June, and we ate them all the way through August. Sometimes, if the weather cooperates and they come on early, you can get them almost 3.5, 4 months or whatever out of the year. So it's no exaggeration to say that a good portion of the year, Leslie and I are eating cucumbers at least once, if not twice a day. And then whenever you consider the fact that we put up over 30 quarts of pickles, we give a lot of those away as gifts, of course, but we do enjoy them throughout the course of the year, and like tuna fish salad, that sort of thing. They also make a great addition to a late winter or early spring salad as well. So again, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and talk about our plan for cucumbers this year. Here on the homestead, we direct sow our cucumbers, which makes them less labor intensive than things like peppers or tomatoes. And this year what we've done is we've taken the initiative and we've added to our soil a bit of sandy topsoil, and we've added in some shredded leaves from the oak trees around here. So the idea this year is we've added the sandy topsoil to the cucumber bed, and the reason for that is, number one, it allows water to pass through relatively easily. Cucumbers do not like standing in water. The leaves are going to help with that as well. And the sandy compost, it's also going to help with water absorption. Now, I know that kind of sounds like an oxymoron, but whenever you add it to there, it'll absorb a certain amount, and then once it's completed, it'll allow that to drain off, and then all the organic material from the shredded leaves will assist in that process. The other benefit to adding the shredded leaves into the cucumber bed is cucumbers are heavy feeders, and they're going to need some extra nitrogen, and they're going to need extra minerals throughout the course of the summertime, especially when they start flowering. And so adding the leaves in early in the winter, once summer kicks in and all the microbes start doing their thing, towards the middle of the summer, that's going to give them a nice natural boost to minerals, trace elements, that sort of thing. Cucumbers will require a trellis system to grow on. Now, the more you grow, obviously, the larger that your trellis system is going to have to be. But large doesn't always mean complicated or expensive. For our cucumbers, both the slicing cucumbers and the pickling cucumbers last year, all we did was use a couple T-posts, and then we took advantage of the bamboo growing on part of our property. If you have things like crepe myrtles that you trim or anything else that grows, semi-straight, you can use those and just build yourself a simple structure, and the cucumbers will take care of the rest. So here on the homestead, I'll put the trellis system up for our cucumbers this year, probably the middle of April. We like to give all of the structures a couple weeks to sort of settle in before we plant around them. Speaking of planting, we only grow two types of cucumbers here on the homestead. Now, there are so many different varieties. I highly encourage each and every one of you to try out all of the fun things. They have, lemon cucumbers, all kinds of different things that you can try. But for us, we have found that we like to grow sort of an abundance. So instead of growing a variety of them, we just stick with two. And the first one that we grow here on the homestead are pickling cucumbers. Now, as I mentioned before, last year we pickled over 30 quarts of cucumbers. And that goes a long way, as gifts and things. Everybody loves my wife's pickles, so that works out really well. They also go great on burgers or sandwiches, if you like to make any like chicken salads, tuna salads, that sort of stuff. So I highly recommend finding whatever pickling cucumber does well in your area and just giving them a shot. The second type of cucumber that we grow here on the homestead are slicing cucumbers. Now, these slicing cucumbers, those are the ones that we eat for 3.5 or 4 months throughout the course of the year. They are delicious. We let them get, relatively good size, probably, perfect for us is right around 12 inches, maybe 2.5 inches in diameter, somewhere around there. We like to pull them. We eat them early and often. Now, sometimes the slicing cucumbers, the plants will just get overloaded with small cucumbers. So what we like to do is we go through and we'll thin those out and we will pickle those sort of like gherkins, just put a whole bunch of small ones in a jar, and they make really good finger foods throughout the course of the year. In fact, we have a couple that we're saving just for the springtime. So, it's kind of nice to pull out those those pickles, I'm sorry, in the springtime and kind of remind yourself what you're going to be getting before much longer. But that serves two purposes. Of course, the pickling, you can eat those later. They're great gifts, that sort of thing. But the second thing that it does for your plants is it allows the remaining cucumbers to swell in size, and it also encourages the plant to produce even more fruit. Before I let you folks go, I just wanted to reiterate how heavy a feeder that cucumbers are. So even though we've added the organic material and things into the beds, what we will do is once the cucumbers start flowering, we will start fertilizing. We will fertilize as soon as we see the first flowers open, and we will continue to add a fertilizer every 2 weeks until the plants are just gone. What we do though with our fertilizer is we put it on half strength. If you use a liquid fertilizer, if you use like a solid pellet fertilizer, we kind of do the same thing, kind of figure out what they say per square foot or whatever and use about half of that. And we've gotten great results to this point. With all of that being said, I appreciate everyone who made it here till the end. Until next time, I hope you folks take care of yourselves. Peace.